Hello and welcome to the Global Podcast. My name is Gwinzer and we are here to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of global conflict, a Battlefield community playing on PC every week. You can go ahead and visit us at global-conflict.org to know more. With me today we have Robert Willis,
Evening all.
Adosso Sloth,
Hello.
and Insanity Rocks.
Good evening.
Today is hopefully going to be a short and sweet podcast. We've only got two things to discuss today. What we're going to start off with is campaign progress. How do we feel the campaign went today, guys?
This is Insanity. Today was a lot more fun, and probably just because the Allied forces won a map and won some rounds. So yeah, good all around for us.
Yeah, I think from the Russian side it was pretty good as well today. Even though there was a lot of maps with sometimes it seemed the victor was quite obvious from the ticket count. But for what I experienced, the maps were really back and forth in who owned the bleed. It might have been large ticket count differences to win, but it wasn't feeling like that when we were playing. I didn't think.
There's definitely a lot of to and fro between some of the maps. Definitely the more infantry maps have seemed a bit more fair play, fair games. To say, testing in Goldman Railway 64i was a bit interesting if we were just running a walk everywhere. Could have lasted all battle day, I think, if we were lucky.
Yeah, I do think it's a bit rubbish that the infantry-only mode for Battlefield 4 is without transport vehicles. They seem to have that nailed down in Battlefield 3. I mean, especially when it comes to that ocean map with no boats. I'm quite glad that we've got the ability to, kind of decide between ourselves. We're going to have vehicles on, but act as if it's infantry only and use transports. Because otherwise, like you say, that Gomend Railway, that would have taken absolutely forever. Even that last map we played, it seemed like in the flood zone, that would have been completely different with the transports. I'm glad we decided not to go that way with it. But you can see how the game can change even with just light vehicles.
I think that, yeah, we've definitely got some good discipline in the army. That's a good thing, I think.
There were a couple of issues today, weren't there, with the mobile artillery or something that I heard.
Yeah, a couple of bits and bobs, but they can always be ironed out. I think, remember, this is a testing campaign, and we're here to test BF4 to limits and see what can work and what doesn't work.
Yeah, I think we're starting to get there, and that's a nice segue onto our next point, which is commander mode. There's been a couple of discussions in the supporting members about the benefits of commander mode versus playing with all unlocks. As our listeners may be aware, we can either choose to have commander mode or to play, which is ranked mode basically, or to play with the options for all unlocks. It's kind of a give and take kind of deal. There's a lot of people in our community who haven't played much public Battlefield, so if they're playing with a ranked server, they're definitely going to feel like they're being outclassed by the people who have played more, because they're not going to have access to all the weapons, they're not going to have access to all the guns. But that kind of gets commander. If we decide to play the way that's fair for all the players, that gets rid of the commander aspect, which is what many of us were really, really, really looking forward to in Battlefield 4 and in Global Conflict.
It sounded like some of the old timers were looking forward to commander mode in Battlefield 4, and a few of them signed up for the campaign to play that. So I wonder how they're feeling about having to choose one or the other.
I think at least I know the way it stands on the Russian high command side is all of us want commander mode, but on a personal level, but we recognise on a kind of community fun level that playing unranked is better because it gives the people who haven't got the same amount of time in game the same opportunities on the battle day.
But you can cut that argument the other way, though, can't you? Because you can say the people who haven't played as much aren't going to be as good anyway. So, because they won't be as used to the guns they're using, they won't be as used to the mechanics. So, you can cut it both ways.
That is certainly true.
Sounds bad from my perspective, but I mean, if we're going to organise a day where we're going to do unranked with or your unlocks, basically your unlock set, which is what they're proposing, it might be an advantage to take a week to say, okay guys, we're going to go stat padding on our ranked server just to get the unlocks. So I know there'll be some people, I'm not sure about you guys in the channel, but I definitely don't have any unlocks for the tank, and if I have to go in the tank, I'm going to be screwed.
Yeah, I mean, I only just reached rank 10 the last time I played Battlefield, which was before Christmas, publicly. Which gets me commander mode, but when it comes to all the unlocks, I think I've maybe got the support kit's ammo kit. I don't think I've unlocked the med pack yet. And I don't think myself as a horrible player of the game. I think that when I go on there, I do better than... No, on the Battlefield, I do better than average. But if it came to playing with ranked mode, then I would be totally running to the ground.
Just based on the class of weapons that are available to higher unranked soldiers versus yourself. Completely concur.
If we ever did it, I think we need, 2 or 3 weeks and say, in 2 or 3 weeks' time, we're going to use commander mode, which means if you haven't got any unlocks, you can't use them. So go and stat pad. I don't think we should just say, oh, next week we'll use it, and because it's kind of unfair for people who haven't got the unlocks.
That is a fair point, and I do think there is currently a high command and TA discussion to look at maybe testing commander mode out, because as everyone is aware, this is a test campaign where we're looking to see what works and what doesn't work in Battlefield 4.
We have actually tested it on early on in week 1 when we had the Linux server crashes. I think I proposed that we do it. It was me and Cheesy. It's just commander mode on Flood Zone. Really early on in the campaign. And me and Cheesy actually really enjoyed the commander mode. And it made a lot of sense. We were jamming each other, we were sending missiles everywhere. I'm not sure if any of you remember that battle. The server crashed straight afterwards.
Well, the server was crashing all the time in that period. I can't remember much.
Doesn't really set it apart from any other crash.
Yeah. No, it is certainly something which is being discussed in the upper levels, and I know on the USSR side we are willing to give it a shot. We don't think it will work long term, but we're certainly willing to try a battle day of it. But as Sloth has mentioned, perhaps we should give a couple of weeks announcing before we actually do it in order to give everyone the opportunity to start pad on our server.
I'd like to get my hands on it. It looks like it's so much fun. I watched the stream that we put out sometimes a few weeks ago, and Corenhorn was casting, and he got the overhead view. And I know you get twice as much information as someone who's in commander mode would get, but it's just sitting there going, that would be wonderful if I could see where every single person on my team was, so I could tell them where to go better.
I haven't tried it myself yet.
No, I'm also in that boat. I hit rank 10 and stopped playing.
I've definitely tried it, so I know what it's like. So it's different to the BF2 one, I will say that. It's really different to that one, but at the same time it's still fun, and there's a lot of support tools for it. So you definitely need to play it carefully. You
can also make other commanders rage quit straight away in pubs by just jamming them as soon as they connect. Which I'm not recommending anyone to do.
Of course not.
Alright, super. We done, guys. And as I said before, short and sweet podcast today. We're all off to getting hammered or going to sleep. Today with me, Gwinzer, was Robert Willis, Adolsa Sloth, and Insanity Rocks. Our editing was done by Mr. Blue, and thank you all. Tune in next week for the next episode of the Global Podcast.